You won't believe how simple these winter DIYs are, but they look totally high-end. Hi, my name is Katie from Lady Red Crafting. Let's jump right in. Grab yourself one of the Dollar Tree easels. These are in the Crafter Square section. Typically, they are not made up, so they're already in pieces. And this is how it will look when you unpackage the package. And we're going to be using the two pieces that have the cut at the top there. And then I'm going to be using the longer strip and then the smaller strip that are the same diameter. And you can save the rest of the pieces for a different craft. Next, I'm going to just draw a line on that longer strip of wood, and then using my miter shears, I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece. So now we have two equal pieces that are the shorter pieces, and then we have two longer pieces that have that angle cut at the top. So what I'm going to do here is going to take those two longer pieces, and I'm going to put them together where they're cut at the angle. And using some hot glue and my wood glue from Dollar Tree, I am going to glue these pieces into place. And what I like about the hot glue is it helps get that into place right away, but that wood glue is going to give it a stronger hold for a longer period of time. So once I get these into position, I am going to hold that there for a few minutes, and then I'm going to let this dry for about a half an hour before I do the next step. So now we're going to take our other two pieces. One of them has a hole in it, but that's no big deal. We're going to put that on the back side of our tree. And then the other piece will be the front side of our tree. And right now, I'm just going to lay this on top of that back piece. And then I'm going to be grabbing some wood glue here, and I'm going to wood glue this into place. So I'm going to add wood glue behind it. And once we have both sides attached to that back piece, we'll grab some more wood glue, and I'm going to put some wood glue on top of those little pieces of wood right there. And so you'll see me adding that wood glue right there. And then we're going to add that top piece to just sandwich that into place. And this is going to make it really stable for it to stand up. Now, the key is making sure that that triangle piece doesn't poke out on the bottom. And to make sure everything stays in the place like I would like it, I do add a little bit of painter's tape around the bottom and just tape everything into place. And then I'm going to let this sit overnight. Now, the next day, our piece was all ready to start painting. So I'm going to go ahead and just remove that painter's tape. And then I'm going to take my piece and I'm going to place it onto a paintable surface. And using my Waverly chalk paint in the color Plaster, I'm going to give a nice coat of paint all over this tree. Now, if you didn't want to hand paint this, you could spray paint it, and it might take a little bit less time, but it has been terrible weather here in the Pacific Northwest, so I did not want to go outside. So I thought it was just easier to hand paint this. It's not very much paint to use, and I think this turned out really nice with that plaster color paint. So while that is drying, I am going to take out this lace panel that I have. I've had this for quite some time. You can see I've been cutting pieces off of it. And I'm just going to cut a strip of lace off of this and make a quick bow. And all I do to do this is I fold that strip in half, and then I'm just going to tie a quick bow, just a regular shoestring bow, and then I fluff it out the way that I like. And then all I'll do at the end is I'll trim any excess lace off, and then we have a beautiful bow. So the next thing that we're going to need to put our tree together is these LED lights. And I got these on Amazon, but you can also get them at Walmart or other places. Dollar Tree does have a little strand like this that you can get, but it only has 10 lights, and I wanted more than 10 lights on it. And this one has 50 lights on it. And I think this is like the perfect size for this tree. So I will put a link for these down in my description box below if you're interested. So now that we got batteries in our light set, I am going to go ahead and get this set up for our tree. So at the very top of our tree, there were 2 holes that were drilled into those pieces of wood where we put that at the top there. So I just wanted to make sure that I could fit my light set through that. So that's why I was using that little pokey tool there to make sure no glue or paint was in there. So once you're able to get that light wrapped around the top of the tree nice and tight, I just kind of tied mine into place with the wiring there, but you could also hot glue it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start wrapping that wire all the way around my tree. And every other time that I hit the back side of the tree, I am going to hot glue that wire into place so that nothing moves around. So I'm going to continue taking that wire. I'm going to be pulling that tight as I'm wrapping that down and hot gluing things into place. Now, one thing that I found was that I did bigger wraps and I made it down to the bottom of the tree. And then I went back up to the top of the tree, kind of going the crisscross direction just to give a lot of dimension to the lights. And then I brought that wire back down to the bottom of the tree. And so that way everything sat into place at the bottom so that the battery pack could sit at the bottom of the tree. And now that we have our lights added, at the very top of the tree, I'm going to add that lace bow that we made. So using a little bit of hot glue, I'm just going to add some hot glue to the front side of the tree. And then we're going to add that bow to finish the tree off. And wow, I just love how this tree turns out. I think that the neutral color is great for the season, for Christmas, or for winter. What do you think? How would you decorate your tree? Let me know in the comments below. Let's transform this wood tree into a holiday project that will go straight into winter. So for our first step, I'm taking a piece of sheet music and using some black tea, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rub that tea bag over the top of the sheet music. And this is going to stain it and give it more of a weathered look. And I just printed this sheet music right off of the internet. And this song is "Oh Christmas Tree." And once you are satisfied with the coloring, I go ahead and just tear off any of the excess paper from our sheet music. And then I'm going to actually take this sheet music and place it on a sheet pan and add this to the oven for about 10 minutes at 250 degrees. Then we remove this from the oven and I'm going to let this cool for a few minutes. While we're doing that, let's grab that little wood tree that I have. And I got this on Amazon, so I'll link this down in my description box below. And I'm going to paint one side of this with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Plaster. Next, I grabbed this beautiful napkin, and I've had this in my stash for some time, but I did get this one on Amazon, so I will link it on my description box below. And to prep our napkin, I'm just going to unfold it, use a piece of painter's tape, and then I'll remove those back 2 layers of the napkin. And now that we have that top layer of the napkin all prepped, I'm going to go back to the little tree that we have here. And so one side is painted and the other side is not painted. So we're going to take the side that is painted and I'm going to be adding a little bit of Mod Podge over the top of the painted area. And then we're going to let that Mod Podge dry. Next, I'm going to grab that napkin that we prepped earlier and layer that on top of our tree. Once we've done that, I'm going to add a piece of parchment paper over the top of the napkin. Now I'm going to grab a heat press, or you can use a hot iron, and we're just going to iron our napkin right on top. This will allow the Mod Podge to warm up so that our napkin will adhere to our piece. Next, we just remove that piece of parchment paper, and then I grab my little zip sander. If you don't have one of these, you can get a sanding block or just a piece of sanding paper would work just fine. And I'm just going to sand in a downward motion to remove those excess napkin. And once all of that is removed, this is what our tree is going to look like. Before I move on to my next step, I do want to seal this side of the tree in, so I am going to grab my Rust-Oleum clear enamel. This is one of my go-to products that I like to use for sealing in decoupage when I don't want to use Mod Podge. So off camera, I did take this outside and sealed the front side in. Now that that side is complete, let's go ahead and flip this little tree over and grab our Mod Podge. We're going to take that Mod Podge and I'm going to paint a nice coat over the top of this tree. Now, once that Mod Podge has dried, I'm going to take that sheet music that we prepped earlier and we're going to put that on top of the tree. And when I laid that piece of sheet music over the top of the tree, I did know that I was going to have a little piece at the top not covered. And I am okay with that because I'm going to be adding something to the top of the tree in a little bit. Next, we're going to put our piece of parchment paper over the top of our sheet music. And using our hot iron, I'm going to iron that on to our piece. And what I love about using this hot iron method is it takes all of those wrinkles out and it looks absolutely amazing. Now go ahead and remove that piece of parchment paper, and this is what our tree is looking like right now. Next, I'm going to take my little zip sander and we're going to do the exact same thing like we did with the napkin, where we sand the sides in a downward motion to remove that excess paper. Now, while we have a quick moment, I want to tell you all about the playlist this month, Winter Inspiration. I host this every month on the 8th of the month with Lowly D's Creations. Our guest host this month is At Home with Gigi. Please check out both of these hosts. They are amazing, so creative and wonderful. Their links are in my description box below. There is also a fun playlist where there's so many talented creators, so please check that out as well when you're done watching this video. Let them know I sent you and give them some love. Thank you for watching, and back to our video. So now that we have our sheet music on our tree, I am going to go ahead and take this outside with my Rust-Oleum clear enamel and do a quick sealing coat on this as well. So while that is drying, let's go ahead and prep a little star for the side of the tree that has the sheet music on it. And I just had one of these little wood stars here from the Dollar Tree. And using my Martha Stewart brushed bronze paint, we're going to go ahead and just paint that star so that it is nice and pretty with a little shimmer as well. Now to attach that star to our tree, I am going to be using just a little bit of hot glue, and we'll glue that right to the top. Next, we're going to flip our little tree over, and on the opposite side of our tree, I am going to hot glue a little lace bow to the very top of the tree. And now our two-sided tree is ready to display. I just love how this turns out. The side with the decoupage napkin gives more of a winter vibe to it. And then the side with the Christmas music gives you that Christmas feel. So this is a great reversible sign that you can put up and have for the Christmas season and just flip it over for the winter season. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. And if you're enjoying the content, please consider hitting that like or subscribe button down below. And if you'd like, we'd love for you to hype the video as well. It really helps small channels grow. Thank you. I love crafting with these placemats from the Dollar Tree. Let's make a beautiful snowflake sign. I grabbed one of these signs from the Dollar Tree, some snowflakes from the Dollar Tree, and then we're going to be using that placemat. To start out, I'm taking this sign and I'm just going to go ahead and scrape off any excess pieces on here. Now let's go ahead and grab that placemat and flip it over. Once we have that flipped over, I'm going to take that sign and I'm going to measure the inside square. Once I have the dimensions for that square, I'm going to be using my straight edge here to draw the square on the back side of this placemat. Next, we're going to go ahead and cut that square out. This placemat cuts very easily with scissors, so it's no need for any special tools. And once we have our piece cut out, I'm going to go ahead and set this aside. Let's go back to that frame that we have from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to be using some plaster color paint here, and I'm just going to be dry brushing around the outside of the frame just to give it a little bit more of a snowy look. And while that frame is drying, let's go to our package of snowflakes. I need 1 snowflake for this craft here, so I'm just going to pull one of them out, and then I am going to actually add some stickers to this. So the Dollar Tree has these little dot stickers, and I like using them sometimes to give dimension to different products. So I'm going to start out by just covering the hole that's in that ornament there, and then I'm going to continue placing the dots around the perimeter of the snowflake. And then I'm just going to continue adding dots around the snowflake just to make a nice little pattern. Once I am satisfied with this, I'm going to transfer the snowflake to a paintable surface, and using my Delta Creative white metallic paint, we're going to paint over the top of those stickers and all over that snowflake. Once our snowflake has completely dried, I'm going to go ahead and put everything together. I grab my Titebond quick and thick glue, and I'm going to go ahead and add that to my frame. Next, I'm going to be taking a paintbrush, and I'm just going to paint that glue onto my piece. I don't want any lumps there, so that's why I'm doing this. Now I'm going to add that mat right on top of the glue and glue this into place. Next, we're going to go over to our snowflake, flip that over, and we're going to add some hot glue and put that right in the center of our sign. And now for our final touch, I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue to the top of my frame and add this beautiful bow. The ribbon for this bow I did get from Walmart in the Christmas section. And that is all there is to it. This adorable snowflake sign is ready to display. I just love this piece. This is such a fun piece for the winter season. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope these winter inspiration DIYs sparked some ideas that you can't wait to try. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who loves to craft too. I'll see you in the next one, and until next time, craft more, stress less.